the time of early Lemuria. It was the first golden age on planet Earth. So what happened, you may ask? Well, remember, we came to this planet for the purpose to explore that part of God's, Brahma's creation. So what we did is, we started to project an aspect of our consciousness into the various forms that existed in this world. For example, we would project an aspect of our consciousness into a tree, into the form of a tree, and then this would allow us to look at life through the eyes of a tree. It kind of would allow us to walk in the moccasins or walk in the shoes of a tree. And so that would give us an opportunity to see what life looks like from the angle and perspective of being a tree. And then afterwards we would project out again, and then we would do the same with an animal, with a plant, with a mineral, with our own thought creations. And it was okay and it was fine to do this, because we would always remember that we are the essence and not the form. We would just project and part of our essence into different forms. For example, into the form of a tree, into the form of a plant, into the form of an animal, and that would give us different perspectives, but we would always project out again, and we would always remember that we are the essence and not the form. We would always remember that we are the essence inside the form. And it was okay to do this, because doing this allowed us to experience, to explore that part of God's creation. But what happened, and that is important now, we got so excited about this business of projecting our essence into different forms that there came a point where we started to confuse the essence with the form. There came a point where we started to believe that we are the form, and where we started to forget that we are the essence inside or behind the form. How could this happen? Well, wherever you put your attention, this is what grows. Energy follows thought, and your thoughts create your reality. Again, wherever you put your attention, this is what grows. Energy follows thought, and your thoughts create your reality. All our attention, all our focus started to revolve around this form level, around the forms that we had projected our essence into. And so the form is what became stronger and stronger, and what grew and what became our reality, because our thoughts create our reality. And where we put our thoughts, this is where the energy grows. And this is how we gradually started to forget that we are the essence, and how we gradually started to identify ourselves with the form of our bodies. The Bible refers to this event as the fall. It was man's gradual falling unconscious of his or her true identity, of being the essence inside or behind the form. It was man's gradual falling unconscious of who we truly are. And the more and more we started to fall unconscious of who we are, the more and more our bodies became physical, because as we fell unconscious, so did our frequency and vibration. And so gradually our etheric reality turned physical, which means it started to slow at a lower and lower vibration as we started to fall in consciousness, as we started to fall unconscious of who we truly are. And now, what happened is that as we spiraled down, we reached the point of ultimate densification where our bodies became really physical. And when we started to believe that we are physically bodies instead of the essence behind the form of the physical body, when this started to happen, for the first time, we started to see separation. Because if you look at life through the eyes of your physical body, you will see separation. Because clearly, from the perspective of our physical eyes, this body is here and your bodies are there, and so we are separate. Why? Because if you look at life through the eyes of our physical body, which was our new sense of identification after we fell in consciousness, after we fell unconscious of who we truly are, we started to look at life through our physical eyes. And if you look at life through the eyes of your physical body, your eyes will only register waves that have a wavelength between about 380 and 780 nanometers. Because that is the range of frequency that our physical eyes are able to register. Everything that's beyond about 780 nanometers in terms of wavelengths, we call infrared. And everything that's beyond about 380 nanometer in terms of wavelengths, we call ultraviolet. Our physical eyes cannot see infrared and ultraviolet radiation. Our physical eyes cannot see subtle frequency. All that our physical eyes can see are waves that have a frequency, that have a wave length between 380 and 780 nanometers. And that is why we started to see separation, because we could no longer see the subtle frequencies and energies and vibrations and waves that were all around us and that are all around us now. And so that is why we started to see separation, when we started to believe that we are a body, and when we started to forget that we are still the essence inside the body. And so what happened as a further consequence, what developed is fear. So what is fear? Fear, F-E-A-R, is short for false evidence appearing real. Again, fear, F-E-A-R, is short for false evidence appearing real. The false evidence appearing real is the seeming evidence of being separate. Because if you think you're a body, you will see separation. But it is a false evidence that just appears real because our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts do not create truth, but whatever you think will be the reality you live in. Because our thoughts create our reality. So to live in fear means to live in illusion. Because all fear is based on false evidence that just appears real. All fear is based on the false evidence of being a body. And hence seeing separation. And seeing separation, feeling separate from one another, and feeling separate from Source.